The Steam market is a very prosperous feature which can easily be showcased with the standout economies of Valve's very own games that are Team Fortress 2, Dota 2 and Counter-Strike Global Offensive. These games being the foundation for the very beginning of the Steam market and its structure. As the Steam market eventually came out of beta, other developers have tried their favour in allowing their in-game items and skins to become tradable and marketable. Most of these games, however, have never really compared to Valve's own game economies other than a few. There was the rise and fall of H1Z1, a sandbox survival game turned battle royale that at one point was one of the biggest games online, with a bustling economy that was craving for ultra rare skins and emotes. Of note, one of its more popular loot crates, the 2015 Invitational Crate, at one point would cost $15 each during the game's peak. But soon H1Z1's popularity started to suffer with questionable updates, which didn't help when other games were grabbing players' attention, and that led to its economy crashing due to the loss of player interest. One of those other games was called PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds that launched with its own cosmetic items. Players who pre-ordered would have access to the pre-order crate, now known as the PlayerUnknown set, which would grant players the likes of a trenchcoat cosmetic item. With the game's rapid rise in popularity, the price and interest of its items boosted the game's economy to rival that of Valve's own games. The pre-order case rose to around $1,500, with the trenchcoat going for over $500. However, problems were apparent due to a lack of bug fixing and cheating, and very questionable decisions such as completely disabling trading abruptly with no warning. This led to around $1 million worth of items being permanently removed with the demise of Opskins, as its trading bots were banned whilst holding onto many people's items. Perhaps this hasn't been the nicest of reports to listen to so far. However, that's not the purpose I was intending. Rather, I want to now direct attention to another game that has remained stable in its player count, maintained itself with frequent updates, and provides cosmetic content in a stable fashion. So let's start with, what is Rust? Rust is currently a condensed first-person shooter survival massively multiplayer online game, and looks much different compared to its original December 2013 early access release. Back in 2013, there was a craze for open world survival crafting games that was popularised in the February release of the DayZ mod that was an Arma 2, with many YouTube videos and gaming streams catching people's eyes. Rust appeared in a wave of survival games that launched during the craze that the DayZ mod started. These games, like Rust, would find their place in the Steam store and its early access section, and all compete against each other for the player's attention. But as time went on, these games focused on their own iteration of the survival themes, with the likes of Project Zomboid, 7 Days to Die, Unturned, and even the DayZ standalone game. Rust itself went through many changes through the years, and that's why earlier I said it was quote-unquote currently a condensed first-person shooter survival massively multiplayer online game. With much larger updates happening every couple of months now, with new areas to explore on its procedurally generated maps, the game has also released downloadable content packs for unique in-game cosmetics and items for fun purposes. But it has always maintained its focus as a sandbox survival game with the core themes of exploring for resources, player versus player combat, and base building. The player base has grown more and more and has remained stable ever since its full release, having come out of early access in 2018. It has frequently had around 100,000 players consecutively playing at once and regularly appears as a top 10 most played game on Steam. So after highlighting those player numbers and the stability of its content, I want to now put a focus on Rust's cosmetics and its marketable content. Rust skins are cosmetic variations for applicable items in the game, be it basic recolours, creatively redesigned sets, or glow-in-the-dark themed and eye-catching. All of Rust's skins have been appearing ever since 2015. In July 2015, Facepunch, the developer of Rust, first implemented the Rust cosmetics into the game. Referred to as Steam inventory items, this was the beginning of the game's item drop system. By simply playing a game for a few hours of time, the player could earn a free item drop, those being the first set of cosmetics introduced into the game. Unfortunately, I don't have any official images to show these first cosmetics, but thanks to Bipolar Penguin, who created Steam Community Market Manager, or scmm.app, a website which tracks Rust skin data, I could provide you an image of this first initial lineup. Later that month, workshop support was added, allowing for community creations to be made. The ambition was for designs made by community creators being added to the game, like how Counter-Strike Global Offensive and Team Fortress 2 have, but being sold in a storefront. Just a few weeks later, Facepunch started to incorporate creations made by Rust community members, which could be bought directly. More items were able to have skins, and much more variety in design was being introduced by the community, although, from what you can see, they are now just a broken set of links and are no longer purchasable. This progression of the community eventually led to Rust becoming one of the first games to receive its own item store through Steam, where people could freely see the new lineup of skins as they were introduced. Thanks to the Wayback Machine, it is possible to see the first lineup of the skins in the first established Rust store in browser. You should also notice that in the following editions, the Rust store would actually stack up all the skins, like a catalogue with many pages of skins that had been introduced over the course of a few months, a format that would remain for at least 2 years. The skin prices used to always vary. Some could sell for just $1 and a few might sell for around $20, but all these skins that were bought would instantly become marketable with no restriction or cooldown to be traded or sold. However, in spring 2017, the Rust store and skins went through a new change. From here, the modern rules for Rust skins and the store was established. Every week, the Rust store will add new skins and replace the old ones, which as of now, this happens on a Thursday. Skins in the Rust store are now only available for 1 week, and that is all. When that week is up, another set of skins are added and the process repeats. Skin prices would be more grounded, with armour and clothing selling for around 99 cents, deployable and miscellaneous items selling for $1.49, and weapons and tools selling for $1.99. The only exception to these prices would be for standout skins of the week or holiday items. These would be priced slightly higher than usual. As of now, all skins that are purchased from the Rust store or Steam market will be set to a 7-day cooldown, where the item cannot be sold or traded. Here we enter the modern times with Rust skins, and now when you compare Rust to the likes of Counter-Strike and Team Fortress 2, there is a very clear difference. Where those two Valve games only get new content from an update with a new case or operation that may come every few months, Rust gets a new selection of skins on its store from the community workshop every single week and only for that week. Once the week is up, you can never get them again, unless you get really lucky finding one by opening a weapon barrel or high quality bag for instance, or if the item happens to be a seasonal holiday event item, then they will likely be brought back for the holiday next year. This setup for the Rust economy can make it very reactionary. By default, most players enjoy collecting complete skin sets. When newer pieces of the set are added to the workshop or even added to the Rust store, prices of the existing items of the set can potentially rise in price and become very profitable. Again, it's different compared to Counter-Strike and Team Fortress 2, because it's so much easier to foresee and speculate profit with newer items. As you become more experienced, it becomes more noticeable. I myself have been buying and selling Rust skins now for about 5 years and currently own over 19,000 skins altogether in preparation to sell at around Christmas time. I've been profiting from Counter-Strike, Team Fortress 2 and Rust skins at an equal level, yet I see Rust is still fairly unknown to most investors and traders of the Steam market. I understand this video may have been a brief history about the development of Rust, its skins and the Rust store, but I wanted to encourage people to start giving the Rust economy a proper look. Other key game economies in the Steam market like H1Z1 and PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds had reached great heights, but they faltered due to questionable decisions or a loss of player interest, but Rust has persisted and is still going strong. Even recently during the making of this video, Facepunch actually introduced another update to the Rust store. Facepunch seems to have finally achieved their aim to create something like Team Fortress 2's Manco store. This is an in-game store that offers a selection of cosmetics and items that are available to all its players and are never removed. With more and more additions added and updates, the Manco store has remained active now for over 10 years. Which leads us to Facepunch's November update in 2021, the introduction to the permanent store. A new set of premium cosmetic skins and items that are permanently available to all people at a set higher price and will remain in the store indefinitely. These cosmetics are currently not marketable or tradable and are permanently bound to the player's account which they purchased them from. Now, There is some clarification where they state that they will keep things under review, based on whether these cosmetics will remain in the Rust store forever, or potentially be removed at some point, or even potentially become marketable and tradable in the future. For now, this updated Rust store is still new, but who knows of the changes and additions we may potentially see in the future. This video is now coming to an end. Throughout, I only touched on the positives of how the Rust economy behaves, and that was by choice. The reason is because I'll be making focused videos based on the streamed content I've made before, explaining and showcasing scenarios with Rust skins, determining value, and even making profits. Keep a lookout for videos explaining the mechanics of the Rust store, forecasting an item's future value, and how to speculate and react effectively to the workshop. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope to get these next Rust videos out soon and help you all learn more about the Rust economy. Best of luck and have fun trading.